I think every child is born with an interest in the natural world. They have no prejudice. They don't think that worms are nasty. They think they're interesting. They think slugs are interesting. And that interest in the natural world of other things that are alive and share life with you is in every one of us. And Leicestershire is full, at least part of Leicestershire on the east side, is full of wonderful fossils, and I became a fossil collector. And of course, collecting fossils take you to the countryside, so that while you're doing it, you see all sorts of things. You see foxes, you see badgers, you see dragonflies, and that started an interest in my life, which I've never forgotten.
Newts, Coots and Muddy Boots.
The Trust's been working in this borough for over 25 years, but this is the first time we've ever run a lecture event mainly for children. And we're really pleased that so many of you have come this afternoon. We hope you're going to have a really enjoyable time.
Well, thank you very much. As you see, we've got 5 speakers, including me. There's 3 there, me, and there's one father surprise at the end. And we each have an object that we're going to talk about. And I have chosen this. It's not a real one. And you may say, well, why wouldn't you bring the real one? And the answer is because actually it would be illegal. I would be breaking the law if I brought the real one to show you. The real one is only about that big, but it's very, very rare. And it's called the Great Crested Newt. The male comes out and goes into my pond. There are about 20 of them. And what he does, and both sexes come, and females as well, and then just about now, it's going on as I speak, just about now, the male starts to court the female. And along the side his tail, that whitish, bluish stripe, is very, very bright in your torch because you're looking at it at night. And it wags its tail like that. When he sees a female, he turns and brings the tail round and wags it, so he forces a stream of water to go from him towards her. And that carries a substance in it called a pheromone, which excites her, and then the two mate. Joe Paccarelli.
I'm going to convert you all to a single atom of carbon. We're going to get very, very small. I'm going to convert you into something else now, and I apologise in advance, because we're going to pass quickly through this fish, and you know what that means. Not only are you carbon, but you're carbon inside a fish poo. I'm sorry about that. Then we went through a fish. Where do we go after that? Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. We went into a mussel for a while, and now we've grown and we've died and we've been released again. And where can we go? This is a wonderful thing. You could go anywhere with this, couldn't you? They're all linked. It's the ecology of the river. And we're going to go back into the mud, and this time, and thankfully these really aren't this size, these are tiny. These are bloodworm larvae, and there's huge numbers of them in the mud. And they're not worms. They're the larvae of. They rapidly change from a larvae to a pupa and hatch out. They are midges. And this time of year in particular, huge swarms of them line the rivers. And this brings us, well, I'll show you. I've got a special way of catching midges. Let's have a look. This is my way. I just want to show you. This is my way of...
Nigel Reeve.
My object may surprise some of you. It's decaying wood or rotting wood. And you might think, why would I choose something quite so disgusting as something that's actually rotting away? Well, I hope you'll see why. In the Royal Parks, we have amazing historic landscapes with ancient trees that could be up to 700 years old. Living in, on and around the tree, in the rough bark and the holes, there are lichens growing on the trees, there are bugs and beetles and spiders living in the holes and in the hollows. And in the bigger hollows, you get other things, bigger things, like this tawny owl. And in fact, if you go to parks like Richmond and Bushy Park, there's about 60 or so breeding birds, and a good number of those actually live in holes and crevices. And the holes in the trees are also very, very important for bats. It's the decaying wood that makes the home for all these things possible.
I wasn't planning to talk to you about Coots, unfortunately, but I was worried that some people might want their money back if I didn't mention Coots. So I brought along the closest thing I can find in my house to a coot. Now, none of you are going to see this anywhere in Richmond Borough. Do you know what this is? It's a takahe, which is a sort of a coot that lives in New Zealand, but it sounds like a coot. Oh. You hear that? Try again. It's not the music. That's a very important noise. It's like a laughing call almost, and that's why it's sometimes called the yaffle, the green woodpecker. It's a sort of laughing noise. Now, you may have heard that. Listen out for that noise now. You will hear it around Richmond, anywhere where there's woodland, but spotting this bird is going to be much more difficult. Here's your first call. Little noises. Very busy bird, a long tail, flitting around.
The long-tailed.
The long-tailed, not a great crested newt, no, the long-tailed. Yes, long-tailed tip. Right.
Well, now, we in Richmond are very, very lucky. We have the park, we have Kew Gardens, we have the river. We have wonderful wildlife areas. And if you want to know more about them, if you want to help look after them, if you want to protect them, if you want to go on bat walks, if you want to have other activities that help to protect our wonderful environment, and if you want to learn more about it, well then come and join us at the Richmond Environment Trust. Thank you very much from all of us for coming.